I became known when I was 19 years old.
Do you think athletes have it easier today, perhaps, than you did back then? Looking ahead, I mean, we've got LA 2028 coming up.
LA 2020 is going to be absolutely incredible. The political side of it, it's hard to understand because where we are right now with our politics, presidential level, is unsustainable. I don't think the future for America will be the same. Me as a black man in America, this is where it's always been. But I think the world is seeing what we saw. People talking about, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. You didn't vote for it for you.
A world run day where every country ran together. What message would you want it to send out to the world? Favorite thing about India?
Oh my gosh, the food. I love Indian food.
If speed were a person, what would you say to them?
Slow down.
The moment I felt America truly changed was when?
In 2037. Touch me.
Hi, this is Pooja. Welcome to Incontroversial. Today we're joined by one of the greatest athletes of all times. A man whose career redefined track and field for generations to come. With 9 Olympic golds, a silver, 10 World Championship titles, and the rare feat of winning gold in the same event across 4 consecutive Olympics, he's not just a sprinter and long jumper, he's a legend. Please join me in welcoming Carl Lewis.
Great, thank you. Thank you for being back, actually. I've been here many times, and I'm really happy to be back.
Yes, of course, you have been to India before, but you're here today as the international brand ambassador for the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. 20 years, landmark edition. I really want to know, what was race day morning energy like today?
Well, first of all, it was very interesting because you start so early because of the time and the weather. Distance runners love that cool weather.
Yeah.
Whereas like me as a sprinter, put me in the heat. So that was the first thing, to get up so early and just to see the race pop off when you see all those people when it starts, and then it just goes person after person after person after person. That was very, very impressive.
Yeah, 40,000 people crossing the start line. And, you know, the champions with disability, the senior citizens, right. It's a pulsating, infectious kind of energy, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was interesting also to see when the people with disabilities came. You saw so many people that were blind. I saw one person that was walking with a big limp, and I said, wow, that's a long way. But just shows the determination that everyone has in just either doing it for themselves or for someone else.
Yeah. Did you ever think back in the day that runners from India would come this far on the international running platforms?
Well, it's interesting because my first time coming here was in 1989. And it also mirrors the transformation that I've seen in India as a country. It's just been transformative. And I've really enjoyed watching it because I came here in the 80s, the 90s, 2010s,
yeah.
And now, of course, 2020s. And it's just been fascinating to watch how it works, to see the empowerment of women have, because it was great to see so many women running the race. So I think it's just emblematic of what's happening in this wonderful country.
Yeah. If reflecting back on your own career and journey, Carl, you've achieved almost everything the greatest athlete of all time called King Carl. Mm-hmm. If I may ask, what did it take to be a legend?
Well, that's kind of something that happens after you're finished.
Yeah, but the process and the journey.
Yeah, the process is it's interesting. I guess the easiest way to say it is that it's exactly as everyone else. But I was fortunate enough to have a little more success. And that just came from hard work, determination, but also you have to sacrifice. You have to do things many times you're not sure you want to or you're going to have to. You miss things and all of this, but it's all so worth it because you ultimately want to try to do, when you go into a career or something of that nature, you want to be your absolute best. And when you're trying to be your absolute best, you're going to get some super highs, super lows. You're going to miss things. You're going to challenge things. You're going to say, oh my gosh, I have to do this today. But it's all so worth it because at the end, we're each given a wonderful, unique talent. Yeah. And fortunately for me, I met Coach Tom Tellez, and he was able to help me really produce that talent to my best ability. And I'm just so proud of that. And I'm happy that it took me around the world, to not just to compete, but to see the world, to see the cultures, to understand the food, which I love, and just to be a part of it.
I mean, you talk about the coach, but also who was your role model every time you hit the tracks?
Yeah.
And, you know, sort of wanting to emulate or perhaps even better?
Well, I mean, there's no question that the number one role models in my life were my parents. They were absolutely incredible. In terms, they were the ones that started the track club. For girls, my mother and father did, and then boys joined it, and that's how I got into sports. Watching them as mentors and seeing how they treated each other, they were wonderful parents to each other, and what they did for all of us children. So that's number one. But I had some people like Jesse Owens. Bob Beamon was an inspiration trying to jump farther than his jump. Watching someone like Steve Williams, who was a sprinter in the 70s. I mean, these were people that really inspired me when I got myself going. And then once I hit my career, I continued to push, because then you're the one that they want to be like, or you're the one that they want to beat.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you keep pushing yourself beyond yourself in order to make sure you stay at the top.
Yeah, and you talked about sacrifices just a few minutes ago, and I also recall that I read, you mentioned that somewhere you said that you avoided relationships and you wanted to just focus on your game, your performance, and your track and field journey. Was that an intentional choice to sort of stay away from love?
Yeah. Well,
as a
I
distraction?
Think, yeah. And to be honest, I was a unique situation because, in the history of our sport, only 2 people have done the 4 gold medals. And trying to emulate Jesse Owens, who was just a giant in the world of track and field and society and culture, was something that I had no clue how to do. And that was the thing. I probably went overboard in a lot of cases, but the thing is, when I started to go for these things, these 4 events and these opportunities, I had no one to ask how to do it. So his coach was gone, he was not here, so I had to do everything possible. In my mind, I couldn't get anything wrong because I didn't know what getting anything wrong would be. So that's why I went all in. And when I look back, there's nothing I would change, because I had such a wonderful career and such a wonderful life. And if you change one little thing, it could change so many things. And so I'm just happy where it ended up, and I'm okay with it where I'm here.
But as you traversed this journey alone and without the guidance, as you're just mentioning, looking back, what were some of the toughest moments in your career, and how did you sort of deal with it in testing your strength and ability?
Well, I think the toughest things are not as tough as I would say. They were no more difficult than things that people go through all the time. Now, I think the most difficult aspect of it is that I became known when I was 19 years old. So my entire adult life has been a public figure.
Yeah.
And here again, no one tells you how to live that either. And it's different now than it was back then, because you didn't have a way to communicate. Social media, I think, is a wonderful medium. I love it. I love the internet. I love even these forums, because you can actually tell your story. But in those days, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of just live our life and then hope people told it the way it was happening instead of the way they wanted to see it.
You talked about social media and how life has evolved, and in that same breath, how track and field has evolved, right? There's so much science, data, new shoes, gear, the biomechanics. Do you think athletes have it easier today, perhaps, than you did back then?
Well, I don't think it's fair to say it's easier. I wish, if I could take, I don't want to be here now because I accept where my life is, but I wish a lot of the advantages they have now, they could take back to our time. I would love social media. I know so many people talk about how difficult it is. I think that's simply because they kind of caught into the whims of what social media can be instead of what it could be for them. So, no, I mean, I look at it differently. Instead of saying it was easier or harder, it's their time and their new challenge and their new opportunity to do it in a way that works for them. But I would have loved to have been around with this type of support. I would have loved the social media and the way you could present yourselves around the world.
Looking ahead, I mean, we've got LA 2028 coming up. And of course, you've participated in Atlanta 96. Given the times back then and how the whole socio-political scene in America itself has changed, what do you foresee going into Olympics coming up?
Well, I think we're going to have 2 different verging situations. Number one, I think LA 2020 is going to be absolutely incredible. LA is so prepared. I remember seeing some of the people that are working for LA 2028 in Paris, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, we got to throw down," because Paris was fabulous. So I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. The political side of it, it's hard to understand. I think that in a lot of ways, it's going to be a little bit better in a couple of years from now, because where we are right now with our politics, especially at the presidential level, is unsustainable. And I think the challenges that we're putting on our country unnecessarily will not be sustainable. But in the long run, I think that it'll make the world better because the world becomes more independent, and they're going to be challenging in America in ways that have never happened before. I don't think the future for America will be the same. The way we're looked at in the world will never be the same. But I think in a lot of ways that's good things for the rest of the world because they will be able to challenge and build up and fill in some of those voids and vacuums that we always did. They'll fill in those blanks, and I think it'll make the rest of the world stronger.
I mean, you did talk about the political turbulence, and in recent times, America has also seen a lot of racial discrimination, and we've had the Black Lives Matter movement. How do you view society going through this evolution, and what still needs to change?
Well, I think the thing about it is that you have to look at it through a number of lenses. Me as a black man in America, this is where it's always been. And so what's happened is that this administration has given voices that did not feel that they could speak. They were always there. But now, I can speak it because the administration has told them, yeah, you can be as racist and as angry and as whatever you want, and we got your back. So now they're coming out. They were always there to us personally. So that part hasn't changed. But I think the world is seeing what we saw and what we live every day. And in the long run, it's a good thing. I mean, when we start hearing a lot of the challenges and people talking about, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. You didn't vote for it for you. And so it's not hurting us. When they're in the corner crying, or the soybean farmers are talking about, oh my gosh, this is terrible, I've lost my business, then we're going line dancing. When people are complaining about what's happening to them, or a lot of the people that voted for this immigration policy, and now they're being deported, we're just going to say, well, that's what you voted for. So it isn't as challenging for black Americans as people think, because this is America that we've always lived. And I think in the long run, the good thing about it is that now the world will see what we think. See, Black Lives Matter, for instance, that comes because we're talking about, our lives are important. And so the reason we're not talking specifically about that issue right now as much is because everyone is seeing what we were talking about. And I think that for the future, for especially black Americans, I think it'll be better. I'm empowered to be able to voice what we feel. If you can be racist, then we can respond. And so therefore, everything is more out in the open, and we can respond out in the open. So I think for us, there's an empowerment to tell our voices and say, see, this is what we've been telling you all along, and we're not going to stand down.
Wonderful. I mean, if you could create a world run day where every country ran together, what message would you want it to send out to the world?
Well, I think the message is there are a lot of things happening at the same time. So we have the massive racism by the Trump administration and those people there that are just don't care about anyone but themselves. And I think that history will not be very kind to them. But at the same time, we see this amazing pushback of colonialism, of independence from Africa, of so many countries saying, no, this is what we're going to take our own route and move our own way now. So my message is, see us, let us roar. Because, they always say history is written by the victor, by the oppressor. And now, all of a sudden, the oppressed and the ones that were pushed aside are having a voice. And I think that's really important for the future.
And if you could pass on one life lesson, what would that be?
Well, the future for us is, if life was easy, everybody would be good at it. It's going to be very challenging, whether it's in sports, life, school, politics, globalism. It's going to be a challenge. But the thing is that there's an empowerment for people to come together, because there is a section of our world that has run around and conquered everyone and put everyone down. And now they have this fear that as they lose power, that everyone wants to retaliate. But the rest of the world just wants to live. And they want to expand and to grow. I don't have time to worry about doing anything to you and your ignorance and your racism. I don't have time for that. I just want an equal opportunity to do everything and grow and live my life.
We have a sprinter in the room, Carl. I can't help but get you into a rapid fire round. May we have a quick rapid fire section? All right then. A song that makes you feel unstoppable.
I'm Still Standing by Elton John.
Favorite thing about India, given the number of trips you've made here?
Oh my gosh, the food. I love Indian food. I love Indian food.
I heard that you wanted to try the samosa this trip.
Yes, here in I've had like 5 meals, and not one time has anyone I'm going to eat before I leave today. I leave the country tonight. Before I leave, I am going to have samosas. Now, I've had them, of course, all the time in the States, but not this trip in India. I need local food. Indian food, I absolutely love the food.
Wonderful. An athlete that you'd love to race from any era.
Oh, I would have loved to race Jesse Owens. Yeah, Jesse Owens, two people, Jesse Owens and Bob Hayes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the most overhyped thing about fame?
People think when you're famous, then all of a sudden you're different. But it doesn't really matter. I still have to shave. I still have to go to the bathroom. I still have to drink water, eat my food, and take my vitamins. It makes you different, but you actually are exactly the same person.
Yeah, all right. One cheat meal that would make you run faster just to reach the finish
Oh, my
line.
cheat meals would not make me run faster. My cheat, cheat meal that would make me run faster. But for runners, it's always pasta. Mm-hmm. Right. But for jumpers, the carbs are weight. So, but I do love pasta and I do love rice, and so both of those are not, they're big time cheat meals, but they wouldn't help me run faster.
If your life had a headline today, what would it read?
I can't believe that was you.
Okay.
Yeah, from a little kid, I cannot believe that was you.
If speed were a person, what would you say to them?
If speed were a person, slow down. Slow down, chill a little bit.
And what's the slowest thing about you?
Getting out of bed in the morning. I do not like to get out of my bed. I love my bed, so that's the slowest thing.
And finally, one rule in life that you would never break.
Wanting to live to be 100. I want to be 100.
Wow, then.
So I will not break that rule. That's a rule. Every day I will live by that rule. And which means I have 35 summers left.
Excellent. You go, boy.
Touch me.
Carl, of course, we've seen you make a dash to the finish line, but in this segment, I'd like to see you finishing off sentences that I start.
Uh-oh, my goodness, okay.
All right. The hardest truth about being a top athlete that no one talks about is?
Staying at the top.
If I could redo one race, it would be?
88. Because, not because of winning the race, because I wish I could run the race with the outcome, because of what it would have meant to my mother in the stadium, to all of my friends, because we had to agonize for days. They had to agonize for days before the finish line. So it would have been nice that they didn't have to go through the agony of the 2 days of like, he lost, he was on drugs and all that stuff.
The moment I felt America truly changed was when?
In 2037. That's my hope.
All right. The thing I miss most about my childhood is?
Simplicity. I do. I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, and life was really simple. I was not a great athlete. A wonderful family. It was simple. I miss the simplicity of that.
I read that you would get beaten by your sister.
All the time. My sister would wear me out. And we're still best friends to this day.
Wonderful. As a vegan, where do I get my protein from?
Me, it was mostly lentils, because I loved lentils, and beans. That's where I got most of it from, yeah.
Okay. One Indian thing you would want in America?
The spirituality.
And you do have a spiritual guru that you follow?
Yeah. There was one Sri Chinmoy I was very close to, and I still am in a great relationship with the Sri Chinmoy Center. And of course, he's from India. So I love the Indian spirituality. It's honest.
And if I could rewrite history, one rule I would change is?
Love and not conquer.
Right. From chasing milliseconds to meaning, Carl Lewis reminds us that greatness isn't just about winning races. It's about running them with purpose. Life is all about timing, he says. And I couldn't thank this moment in time enough in my life for this opportunity. This has been wonderful, Carl. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay.
And that's a wrap on Incontroversial. Signing off till we meet again.